Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be trying out JINWOO on Bird. This will be an auto team. Of course floors 1 to 3 as unfortunately JINWOO does not have any skills that will be useful on floor 4. But anyway, here we go. So he is rocking HP defense with Mail Link. We've got basically everyone on this team running HP defense with the normal HP defense roles. For a substitute link, so your associate hero link. Mail Link on JINWOO basically to make the most out of his damage. Also running HP defense as well. Red Tommy on HP defense. The other person who's running attack crit is Roxy on Sigurd to maximize Sigurd's damage, because Sigurd is basically like it's like a third DPS if need be. It's like a support slash DPS. You can battle some quite good damage. And then for the card set we're running, if everyone's the same race, we get a lovely 15% attack related stat boost, which is kind of handy. JINWOO will once again benefit from that very nicely. And yeah, let's get on with it. Here we go on to floor. Whatever, this is a bird. Floor 1 of Bird. My brain fired for a second, anyway. Auto, immediately on. Let's see how this goes. Should be quite easy. Of course, these first few floors can be debuffed, so he's gonna. Sorry, first few phases can be debuffed, so he can, of course, pile some insane damage there. And always debuff skills have priority, especially if they have weak point as well. Nice DOT damage as well, which is not bad. I think Lord's going to get the kill here. There we go. Also, when Shadow Monarch's domain disappears, we will lose about 15% basic stats on everyone, which is kind of sad. He doesn't provide as much stats as Char. Char provides 41% basic stats to the team, so it might actually be quite noticeable not using her. Not bad. This is a damage capped phase, so not bad. Lance lands the kill, which is nice. On to phase 4. So he gets on here. Double ult, JINWOO maybe? Yeah. I'm not sure if Sigurd can hit damage cap. Just because he doesn't have anyone boosting him. Okay. He can apparently. Fair enough. Sigurd's really good. Do I feel like this team will be better than Char? Probably not. But I feel like the later floors will confirm my suspicions or not. Generally not bad. Of course, his death damage will help him. The longer that it goes on for, the less useful his AoE becomes because there's no death damage to it. But yeah, now on to floor 2. Here we are, now on to floor 2. Let's see how this goes. It should also be quite easy. Everything's on auto, so let's see what it does. I'm hoping phase 2 doesn't have any problems. It shouldn't. Charles 1 didn't, but you never really know sometimes. Not bad damage. Sigurd lands the kill. Good damage from Sigurd, like normal. Here we go. This is where it starts to become a true test. Okay, it's going to immediately pick Charles' JINWOO's debuff skill, because it's a debuff skill. We'll also get the death damage effect in as well, because it's debuffed. There we go. And Nosians actually gets the kill, which isn't bad. Not too bad, honestly. Not too bad. It went a lot better than I was expecting. Of course, pulling that additional JINWOO skill was pretty handy there. Not debuff skill with him, so it's going to prioritize that. I didn't realize that Bird can be debuffed up to this high phase. So it can be debuffed for basically the first 2 floors, which is kind of good for JINWOO, especially if you're a newer player. And let's say you can't do floor 3 because you haven't got the box or your character's not built enough, you can at least do floor 2 quite easily because he can debuff him. There we go, got his ultimate, I am 2-6. Let's see how this goes. Ult does decent damage. Just a damage cap, which is what you would expect. And Lance always kills because it's Lance. Once again, I got Lance on the team because he provides a nice set of defense-related stats, especially for characters like Sigurd, who don't really have the best defense-related stats. 60% defense-related stats can go quite a distance. I've got the Bird card, which I've probably got about 100 times at this point, and that's not even a joke. Damage-wise, yeah, once again, because he's got a debuff skill, the game's always going to prioritize using his debuff skill, and the death damage is also kind of handy. Now on to floor 3, which will be the true test of his power. Here we go, on to floor 3. For some reason, I'm not getting the intro animation for the Demonic Beasts. I don't know why, unless they've removed them, but I didn't get the intro animation for it, which is kind of odd. But it is what it is. Damage. We will have death damage for the first phase, that is it, 'cause it's got this grey effect up here. But after that, he doesn't apply that anymore, and then we won't have that, which is quite unfortunate, but it is, well, unfortunately, what it's going to be. Not bad, Lance is able to finish the job. The thing is, Sun Jinwoo's damage is quite good. He's got cleave, which doesn't really have to crit, which is quite nice. It doesn't mean Link's-wise, you're sort of odd to think what Link, you know, you can't give Sariel. Roxy is okay, but realistically he's not going to crit. I guess it sort of makes the most of both worlds. His AoE can still crit. There we go, we actually two hit it because of his domain effect, which once again, when that runs out as well, it's gone. That is it, which is kind of sad. Go. This should also kill quite quickly. Damage is quite good. 249k is not bad for a weak point skill with quite a low multiplier. Does more than Sigurd's single target, so. Not damage cap though, but still very good. Which is good for an AoE skill. This single target is of course always going to hit damage cap. Lance is always going to hit damage cap because he's a UR base, and that's sort of what you would expect for characters like him. Lots of skills for him, which is quite handy, so he should actually be able to get the windscreen here. No, he won't, because Lance is actually going to get the windscreen. Good damage, I believe that is damage cap, because once again his HP is lowered by Sigurd. Yeah, that is damage cap, cool. Nausya's damage isn't bad, 121k. And then Lance, of course, lands the kill. Honestly, it's not bad. Would I say it's better than the Char team? Maybe. There's a lots of ups and downs with this team. Once again, if you get really bad passives with this team, I think you could quite easily be screwed over. Like, because this team, it's got a decent chunk of bulk, but that's solely because of Nazians and Lance, which is the reason why I run those two together. It's quite good at protecting characters like Sigurd, who don't really have the highest basic stats, especially when we're also running a character like Sun Jinwoo, who is quite a selfish character and doesn't really provide much in terms of basic stats for the team after his buff is gone. When his buff's gone, he basically doesn't provide anything for the team. But, for example, Char, after she gets her 3 stacks, and there's 4 humans on the field, like turn 1, boom, you got 41% basic stats for the entire time she's on the field, which is crazy. Yeah, not bad. I would say the Char team is probably better, even though technically this team moves maybe a little bit quicker. I feel like consistency, and I feel like that team is going to be a lot more consistent than this team. And once again, everyone else on this team wasn't able to provide as much damage. Sigurd wasn't hitting as many damage caps as possible, because he didn't have the basic stats like he had from Char. But generally, it's not a bad team. Would I recommend it? Yes. Once again, replacements. For Sigurd, you probably want to get someone who can boost basic stats, so LR Barn or Chaos Arthur. Nausians, don't really know, to be honest. You just want some like decent human support. So like once again, like LR Barn, if you can run LR Barn's not bad. His damage is okay. He provides 5% basic stats, which is decent. If he doesn't take damage, he lowers their stats by their all stats by 10%, which is kind of nice. And then for Lance, probably just another DPS, so like the ultimate one will do quite well. Once again, he's got death damage as well. Both the characters have death damage, something they have in common. And also he's got quite a nice AoE as well, so maximise the damage. But anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.